Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. It's been a while since I did a video, and those of you who follow the channel and those of you who follow me on Facebook, those of you who follow me on Facebook know what's going on. I have been diagnosed with rectal cancer, and due to the large tumor and the large lumps in my buttocks, I am no longer capable of sitting. I can only lay down or stand up. And as the cancer has progressed, it has sapped my strength. So I haven't been making videos. And I need to get back into that because it's something that gives me a sense of purpose and accomplishment. So bear with me here. We're going to try a little bit different format today. And that format doesn't include my smiling face, but I did a little slideshow to go along with what I want to talk about today. And what I want to talk about today is something that I shouldn't have to talk about, and that is professionalism. You see, that's something that's missing in comic books today. There are not that many there's not that many people with professionalism left. Now, let me separate professionalism from being a comic book professional. And here's the way we separate that. A professional is a member of a profession or any person who earns their living from a specified professional activity. This means half the people out there claiming to be comic book professionals aren't. If they're not earning their living from being a comic book creator, they're not a professional. They are simply in a profession. But the reason I want to separate professional from professionalism is because professionalism is something more important. Professionalism is the attitude and the way that you carry yourself within your profession. And I'm going to be referring obliquely to the current mess going on between fans and pros. And the reason I'm going to refer to it obliquely is I'd like to keep the moral high ground here. I'd like to keep the ethical high ground. So we're going to, first off, we're going to get rid of something in the room that needs to be gotten out of here. It's an elephant and it's making a lot of dung and it's stinking. There's a difference between rights and responsibilities. Just because you have the right to say something doesn't mean that you don't have the responsibility not to say something. I realize that sounds contradictory, but it goes like this. This quote is often attributed to Voltaire, and it's not actually something he said, but it sums up his feelings perfectly, so this is the reason why it continues to be used. Sir, I disapprove strongly of what you say, but I shall defend to the death your right to say it. And we find ourselves in this position a lot within the comic industry because there are people out there saying things that they have a right to say, but they are things that any reasonable person is going to disagree with. And to a lot of people in the modern day, I disagree with you translates to, you don't have the right to say this. To other people, I have the right to say this translates to, you have no right to disagree with me. And both of these positions are extreme and they're both wrong. The thing to remember about rights is that you have consequences for rights and you have responsibilities for rights. Now then, we have trolls in the comic book industry. We have trolls on the fan side. We have trolls on the creator side. We have trolls on the press side. And we have trolls on the retailer side. Everybody has their fair share of trolls. I'm not trying to pick on anybody's specific trolls here. What I am trying to do is point out that the level of discourse within the industry has sunk so far that it's cringy, it's embarrassing, it is unprofessional. And this is where I need to bring this up. I've said this before in several videos, but I feel that it needs to be reiterated and more made the sole subject of a video. If you are a comic book pro, or claiming to be one if you're not making a living at it. By the way, I am in the comic book industry. I am a publisher. I am a writer. I am an artist. I am an editor. I fulfill every single role in a comic book company at least once on one of the books that we're producing. I am not a comic book professional. I am not making a living at this, but I do attempt to approach this job with the utmost of professionalism. So you're not going to find any videos or any posts of me slamming other people in the industry, whether they be fans, whether they be publishers, whether they be creators, whether they be distributors, retailers. Well, I may slam Diamond. I'm getting tired of them. But you're not going to find me slamming people in an unprofessional manner. And this is the crux of the video today. What we have is a whole bunch of comic book creators, mostly centered around a specific company, that have been bashing their own fans. So this is a message to anybody who's in the comic book industry on the creative side. Stop. What you're doing is harming an industry that you claim to care about. There are ways to engage with critics. There are ways to engage with harassers. There are ways to engage with trolls. There are ways to engage with fans. But if you are using your social media to spout political ideologies that have the purpose of alienating 40% or more of your readers, you are being unprofessional. There's no other way to put that. Do you have the right to say these things? Yes, you do. Do you have the right to express your opinion on your own personal social media? Yes, you do. Nobody's denying that you have the right to do this. The question is, do you have the responsibility to do this, and are you willing to face the consequences for doing this? And the answer is all too often proving to be no. Well, I can say what I want. It's my own personal Twitter feed. Well, yes, it is, but it's your own personal Twitter feed in which you advertise that you are the writer for a specific comic book for a specific company, and you invite your fans to participate with you on this Twitter feed. And then you turn around and tell part of them that they're evil. And you don't see a problem with this? You don't see a problem with your own personal political and social beliefs infringing upon people's ability to enjoy the work that you have created? And mind you, I have seen specific tweets from specific creators saying things like, if you have this particular brand of politics, I don't want you buying my book. I don't want your money. Really? You have a responsibility to the company that you freelance for or that you work for. That responsibility is to promote the product that you're creating. That responsibility is not to go and denigrate the fans that are buying that product. I can't put this any more bluntly. And the answer that comes down from this, and I'm not straw manning this, these are all quotes from specific tweets from specific quote unquote professionals. The answer that comes down is they started it. They criticized me. They harassed me. They threatened me. They did all of these things. And people, this is called being trolls. And there's one rule where trolls are concerned. Please do not feed the trolls. If you, as an industry insider, are feeding the trolls, that's on you. You can't blame your reaction on them. No matter what they said, you cannot blame your reaction upon them, because here's the simple truth of the matter. Their words have no power beyond the power that you give them. And if what you want to do is feed the trolls, and if what you want to do is have these flame wars, then what you need to do is realize that it's a very unprofessional way to act. It is lowering the level of discourse, and it is turning fans against something that a lot of these fans have loved for 30 and 40 years. And just because you think you're on the right side of the argument doesn't mean you're on the right side of the behavior. Please leave comments, like, share, subscribe. Let's get the word out here. Let's see if we can start a conversation that's a little bit more productive. Thank you very much for your time.